Hi, and welcome to IndieDaze. I am your host, Marc with Alexander Films. We are going to continue with our legacy interviews. I call them legacy interviews. They were shot approximately 7 years ago when I first came up with the idea of IndieDaze. And I called in some of my friends, colleagues, filmmakers, actors, writers, etc., and said, hey, would you be willing to talk about your experiences in independent film, how you got involved, and really where you are today and how you're using your specific set of skills. This week, we're going to look at Alex Miller. Alex actually has been on several short films I've done, some commercial work I've done as well, and he had a supporting role in both of the feature films that I produced in 2014. Alex Miller is the younger brother of Adam Miller. I don't remember if I met Adam first or Alex first. Adam Miller went more of the filmmaker route, where Alex went with the acting route. Came up through theater. He'll talk about that in the interview. But he was creative. He decided that if he wasn't perfect for a role, he would find another way to get involved. Just listen for yourself as Alex Miller talks about acting and something else in the industry. Hi, and welcome to another edition of IndieDaze. I'm your host, Marc Hutchins. This is a media tool for filmmakers by filmmakers, and today I have with us Alex Miller. Welcome, Alex.
Thanks.
Glad you're here. Alex, tell me what you do in independent film or in the film production community.
Well, I work as an actor primarily, or performer of sorts, but I also have worked a lot in casting for commercials, independent short films, and feature films, kind of whenever they can't use me as an actor.
So whenever they can't use you as an actor, you find something else to do.
Yeah, that way the conversation's not over. It's not, oh, are you an 80-year-old black woman or a 12-year-old Chinese boy? Well, then we don't need you. It's, no, but I can find someone who is, so please keep talking to me. And then it keeps me in the loop, basically, that they know that I know people who are in the acting world. So that's a helpful thing.
I mean, it seems like there's a good strategy behind that. I mean, either being able to work in front of the camera, behind the camera, it seems like it makes you more marketable.
And also, if I'm not acting in a production, I can be the wrangler, kind of, keep in charge of the extras that day, or help coordinate and be the point man, because I'll usually know the actors from acting with them maybe in a theatrical production. So then they need me to, make sure they're taken care of that day. They might hire me on just to kind of be crowd control.
Why casting, though? What particularly got you into casting?
Well, my brother Adam runs Hello Studios in Lynchburg, Virginia, and he had and still has a lot of contacts in the video world, editors, filmmakers such as yourself, the Abandoned Films guys as well. And so he knew all the video guys, but they didn't know a lot of actors. And I knew all my actor friends, but most of them didn't know any video people to help them get demo reels together or opportunities. So having a brother on that side was sort of the go-to in-between connection there. So they started asking me, do you know anyone who could be in this little commercial? We can't hire a big-time casting agent, but maybe you can help us, and we'll give you a little money to help us find these guys. So I became the low-budget version of an Erica Arvold or someone who has a bigger clientele.
Yeah, it sounds like you sort of found a niche and filled it.
Yeah, definitely. And it's definitely helped me stay in the loop, like I mentioned before, and has given me opportunities to find out about upcoming projects as well. People talk to me regardless of whether that project is for me as an actor or not. And what will often happen is they like working me so much on the casting side that maybe they'll tweak that role to be a little older or younger so that maybe I can play one of the roles in there. And so that's helped me wheedle my way into a project that I probably wouldn't have gotten into initially.
It seems like you're building a lot of good relationships and a lot of good networking, though.
Trying to, yeah. Just slowly kind of spreading the radius out from Lynchburg out to here in Roanoke, getting to work on projects around here has been great, and to Richmond. A lot of people fly right to Los Angeles or New York and try to make it big, but I'd rather have a lot of contacts in a smaller network and slowly expand that than show up with a suitcase and go, all right, take me, make me a star. That is less likely to be successful, I think.
I would also think as you build those relationships, if one of those people in your inner circle or maybe those outer circles, is to make it big or to grow or go beyond Roanoke, Lynchburg, or the Virginia market, then, they would remember you.
Exactly.
Very possibly they would say, hey, I remember that guy I worked with. He was, he's faithful, hard worker. He's versatile.
Yeah.
Let's get him on board.
One of my friends in the film school at Liberty, Chris Sepla, he was making a student thesis film before he graduated. It was a half-hour film. He cast me as the lead in that, and we enjoyed working on that so much, and the crew had such a good time that he decided to, right after graduation, do a feature-length film for 5,500. And we got together again and made a much bigger production on a much bigger budget. And now he's in grad school, at SCAD studying writing, and that connection is growing and growing, too. So he's making more networks and connections there. So if he does another project, I'm really high on his list as far as who's going to call to maybe work with him again. So those sort of things that when you get in on the ground floor, it definitely helps, because they'll never forget that even when I had barely any money, you were willing to go the extra mile on those long shoot dates. Sure. So yeah, I've got some actual money now, and let's bring you back. So that helps.
How'd you get into acting?
I kind of, in high school, we had a lot of musicals at my high school that we did that were, we really poured into our big spring musical at the end of the year. And so that definitely helped. But when I got to Liberty, I started off as a theater minor. I just wanted to, do it kind of on the side, but I want to get a real job, right? But I finished all the theater classes, and I realized that all I talked about were those theater classes. I was a comms major,
right,
but I didn't even care about my communications classes. I was kind of just getting through those. I realized I'm already done with all my minor requirements. I enjoyed that more. Let's keep doing that. So, and if all these other theater majors can somehow think they can make a living in this, then, I'm not the only crazy person here. I'm going to do it too. I'll find a way to make a living, but I want to do something that I enjoy talking about and working on and pouring into. So that made me, I was hesitant because I wanted to not be bankrupt or something, but I slowly decided to go all out, and I was able to meet a lot of fascinating people who are making it, and that gave me hope that I'm not being a completely irresponsible person by going into this field.
Now, I have a chance to work with a lot of young people, teens or even preteens, who get, I guess, bit by the acting bug. Yeah. As they get on set, and they're like, oh, this is what I want to do. Like, I didn't know that until I got on set, and now all I want to do is be an actor. But then you'll see that a lot of them, majority of them, in my opinion, kind of like fall off. It's exciting on set, then it's gone. What's the difference between someone who would really grab hold of that and run with it, and someone who would say, this is exciting, and then it just disappear? Why do you think that would happen?
Well, I think sometimes people want to have something they're excited about. Like they want to be into something. Maybe it's basketball when they're in high school and they're all into their sports, or they're into their acting, or their skateboarding, or whatever it is. But that's what they want to do. Like they're into it for a while. But sometimes maybe parents or your friends will push you into things, and you realize that's not what you want. So it sort of fluctuates. So I think it really depends on, is this what they really want to do, or did they think they wanted to do it? And maybe they will someday, but they kind of need to come back to it when it's a self-driven passion. So when I was younger, I'm glad I wasn't like a child actor doing it since I was 5 and like just being a theater boy or acting in all these short films. I'm glad I had a normal childhood and played sports and did yearbook and all those things. I'm really happy that it wasn't just, what's the new album from Broadway that I'm listening to at home every night. I'm glad that it was a later thing, because it was definitely my decision then, right, to do it. And then people can support that, but I never felt pushed in one direction or the other. So I think that's important, to make sure that this is what you really want to do and not just what seems cool or fun, because the fun comes and goes, and there's a lot of frustrating times, and boredom that ensues as well. So you have to make sure that the fun outweighs that and the passion. Yeah.